There we go. There we go.
Can you hear us? Are you guys here?
Expanded video.
Let's try that. That's what it looks like the last time. Oh no, last time we were on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah, we cut it off, whatever. Should we do our cheers?
Cheers. Right. Hi, everybody.
Hello, everyone. Hopefully everyone can hear us. If someone is listening, please let us know if the mics are working this week. Please and
Yes.
thank you. Please, please, please.
Yes, let us know in the comments. I'm
We should
gonna
be good.
see. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get on and look at the comments just to be sure.
So tonight we're starting a couple more personable things with us. So we're going to talk about our name for the podcast, Let's Do This. So we kind of started, throwing out some names together and like, what should we do? What should we call this? We came up with Let's Do This because we are go-getters, we're hustlers. We do a lot of things in life, and we're very, very much the same person. So when it comes to life, we're just like, let's do this. Like, let's do the damn thing. Let's go for it. It's just who we are. It's our personality. So everything in life, whether it's this, it's our careers, it's our kids, like, let's do this. So try to stay positive mindset. So let's do this is what we came up with. So
Yes,
we love it.
I'll add to that. My dad has always raised me to say there's talkers and doers. There's people who talk about doing things, and there's people who actually do things. And he has raised me to be a doer. And so I think of let's do this as like, we can talk about things, we can have ideas, but let's actually do the thing.
Yeah. And like implementing it. So
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
So we're going to talk about a little bit with ourselves a little bit, because last episode we didn't really dive in at all about, kind of ourselves and more about us a little bit. So we can talk about that. Do you want to start it?
Sure.
A little bit about yourself.
So a little bit about myself is I am 41 years old. I'm a single mom, and I don't know. Now on the spot, what do you say? There's so much to know.
Tell me everything.
So
it'll be like 5 hours later.
Like,
here we
we're
are.
only at age 3. There's still so much. So I guess, a couple, I don't know if I mentioned these last week or not, but a couple things. I'm a child of divorce. My parents split when I was 9, and it was a situation of incompatibility on many levels, and there was a lot of fighting and a lot of screaming, and sometimes one parent would throw things at the other parent, and so it was not like, it was a little bit toxic. And so I was happy when my parents split. I was sad, that my dad was leaving, but my dad has done a great job at continuing to be involved in our lives and always let us know that he still loves us, and he's like basically my number one cheerleader. So it ended up being a really good thing for me. And then, I became a Christian when I was in about junior high schoolish, and kind of had this really deep faith that shaped my life, shaped my worldview. And while I don't today believe all of the things that I believed then, it still shapes me today and how I view the world and how I treat people. And so it's just been a huge part of who I am. And then, I ended up getting married around, let's see, I would have been age 22, and I had 2 children, and I ended up also divorced like my parents. And so you'll hear a lot of when I'm talking, I encourage people not to stay in unhealthy situations, because I've seen, sorry if I hit the mic, I've seen how a child can be successful coming from divorce, or how a man or a woman can co-parent in a healthy way through divorce. So I'm definitely not like throw in the towel and don't try your relationship. Like, that's not my attitude at all. But there are situations where you just try and you're just miserable, and you start to kind of lose who you are. And I feel like that was happening with me. I was kind of trying to change who I was to be who not only my spouse wanted me to be, but like I've done this in relationships as well. I've done this in friendships as well. It's like, who do they want me to be? How do I need to tone myself down to be what they want? And so a lot of my life has just been shaped by being in the wrong circle or being aligned with the wrong person and figuring out slowly and usually the hard way how to get out of that situation and how to find where I truly belong.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more I could share, but I feel like that's enough for now.
Yeah, so with me, I guess I'll start when I was a little girl. No, I'm just kidding. I will say that, so I do fitness full time now. I left my corporate job a couple months ago, went full speed ahead with fitness, and it's been amazing. But that kind of started in my childhood with my dad, who is incredible, and he really instilled in me that dedication and that work ethic, and he worked his booty off. I mean, he worked 80-hour weeks. He's an electrician. He owned his own company. So for me, just seeing that grind, that hustle, my mom was a stay-at-home mom. They're married still. They've been together for 50. No, they've been married for 50, almost 51 years, which is crazy.
So long.
So crazy. But it's a beautiful thing though, and so I was raised in a very loving, like my mom was just the most loving, caring, most beautiful angel in this world. So I started with my dad though, working out when I was little and doing all the things. I played sports, went into high school, loved weight training, would make circuits for people in weight training class, and like I loved fitness in general. Got away from it for a while, and then I'm full-fledged fitness now. But I have an amazing 9-year-old daughter. I'm also divorced, so we were together for 17 years, my ex and I. We have a great parenting relationship, which I'm so incredibly thankful for, and put our daughter first, her happiness, her well-being, so we work really well together. And like you said, divorce doesn't have to be this like horrible, this horrible thing. Like I think we've kind of made it into a positive, and it's been really good for both of us, and I think for our daughter. So it's been good. But so yeah, I like long walks on the beach. I like no, I'm just kidding. But overall, just I think both Ashley and I we're such go-getters and hustlers, and but also love our downtime. We love our friends and family and all that. So we know the important things in life and how to kind of balance it all with all the hustles that we do have, because we both have a million gazillion things that we do in a day. But yeah, you make the time. You make time for things that are important to you, and that's what life's about. So life's about family and friends, and the rest is just fun. It's all the fun stuff. So
well, and you mentioning kind of getting the fitness inspiration from your dad,
yeah,
triggered in my mind. So one of the things that I do, I didn't really talk at all about what I do, just kind of talked about like who I am. So in addition, I don't have a full-time job right now. I just got laid off recently, first time ever. But typically I work full-time, and then I also have side hustles like you. And one of those is playing the drums. And I grew up watching my dad play the drums, and he's been playing since he was 13. I joined the school band myself in 5th grade. And then when I went through my divorce, I started my first band, which is Pop's Garage, my top 40 dance party band, super fun. And then 3 years ago, I started my country band north of Nashville. And so, but it's so cool, like, I still get to go out and watch my dad play. And now when he's off, he gets to come and watch me play.
so
and
cool.
So just seeing, like, we both have this thing that's become such a big part of who we are that, like, we got from our dad.
Yeah.
So.
She also mentioned the other day that she's not a great drummer, and I got really angry at her, by the way. So
I said I'm an okay drummer.
She's an amazing drummer, and she's a badass drummer. So just saying. So if you ever hear her say that, just be like, just tackle her or something, and just bring her back down to earth. Just saying, you're an amazing drummer.
I
so
just see these
go
drummers that
see
do
her.
all these. They like flip their sticks like this, and they do this like double kick pedal thing, and I'm just like,
Meh. This frou-frou stuff, man. You're an amazing drummer.
I just like keep the beat, and I whip my hair around. And if we make eye
it's usually
contact,
blowing in the wind, and you're like,
That's true.
I don't look like a drummer doing that. It's okay. I'm not sure what I'm doing.
You look like you're doing something.
Ugh.
I think people are getting their own ideas.
Well, no one tuned in, but I'm just doing that. That's fine. Oh no. Okay.
It's fine.
Anywho.
People are watching. They love it.
Hi. hopefully you guys can hear us. I haven't actually seen a comment of people being able to hear us.
I haven't seen it. Yeah, I haven't seen any comments that they can't hear us. So I
Okay.
think that's good.
Good. Okay.
Well, let's talk about how we met.
Okay. Okay.
Do you want to take this one?
Yeah. So it was a year ago, a little over a year ago. Yeah, we kind of mentioned last week or 2 weeks ago we were in the singles competition together through the city paper, Best of Toledo, or not Best of Toledo, but the city paper, and it was 7 men, 7 women to be titled the most eligible bachelorette of Toledo. We had a lot of fun, and from the moment that I met her, or even just messaging, I was like, oh my god, she's an absolute gem of a human. So we just started chatting more. We grabbed lunch after we had a photo shoot, like a week later, and we just clicked. And I think sometimes as you get older and you meet certain people, you're just like, how have I not known you my whole life? And we just have so many similar like morals and just interests and our just everything when it comes to dating. Like we have so many of the same thoughts, and we are both constantly growing and try to be just a better person, better human, more successful, learning, growing. So I think we're very much the same when it comes to all that. So I think it was a very natural friendship. And so then, like we said last or 2 weeks ago, when we talked about doing a podcast, I'm like, we can absolutely do this. Like we talk all day about everything, so I wish we could just record that because it's like a podcast. So yeah, it just made sense for us to do this together and have a blast. So we're really excited. This is the second episode, so we just hope to grow and learn as we go and just become better. So
Well, and I'll add from my perspective is, we were all put into this group chat through the singles contest. Like, hey, here's what the details are. Here's when our photo shoot is. And I'm like, what's everybody's name so I can add you on Facebook? Because I just want to be connected all the time. And I want to find my people in my circle. And when I got her info, your info, I was like intimidated to message her because she's so beautiful and she has like all these like Facebook friends and all this like professional fitness looking photos on Facebook, and I'm like, I don't know.
It's all a mirage.
But I was like intimidated, and then I messaged her and just introduced myself, and she like immediately messaged back a voice memo like, "Hello, beautiful. It's so nice to meet you." And I'm like, she's so nice.
And you were so nice. I was also intimidated. So it's funny. I'm just gonna say, you never can judge a book by its cover, because I think so many times in life people do judge, and either they're intimidated or they think that like you're not nice, or just there's so many things when you look at someone you're like ooh, and people do that all the time, and just judgment. We shouldn't judge until we actually speak to someone and see just their hearts and their intelligence and just all the things. So I can't even imagine. We do feel like we've been friends for a lifetime, and we will be friends for a lifetime, but I feel like we've been friends forever, and it's been a year, so just wild.
It is wild. Well,
it's weird.
It's funny. So my friend Cynthia is watching right now, and Cynthia is the lead singer of the band Phoenix, and they've been around for 17 years. She started that band way back when.
She's a powerhouse singer,
Incredible.
Cynthia. If you want to get on and sing really quick, I'd be really excited.
Ooh, we should have her on.
But no,
but I knew the guitarist in her band, but I never talked to her because again, she's so beautiful, she's so talented. But we had mutual friends, and she just kept popping up in my newsfeed, and so same thing. I just messaged her out of the blue, and I asked her to coffee, and she was like, "I would love to." And as soon as I met her, we met like in person for the first time, like on a friend date, right?
Aww.
And she was just super bubbly and talkative, and it just went back and forth and back and forth. And I'm like a picture person, and I want to take pictures with all my friends all the time. We didn't take a picture. We have to do that then, by the way. But I was like, I just met her. I don't want to like weird her out,
Yeah.
And at the end, she was like, "Do you want to take a picture?" And I was like, "I would love to." But something that I've noticed is like, I think as adults, it can be really hard to make new friends. Because if you think about it, like when you're in school, you automatically just become friends with the people around you. Or if you're in sports, like I did a bunch of sports, I did musicals, choir, band.
Yeah.
And you just become friends with people because you're around them. But
Mm-hmm.
then when you become an adult, you're not really around people.
No.
Especially like, well, if you have a job you have your work friends.
Yeah.
But I worked from home. And so it's like, how do you make friends? But I think that's just it. It's just
Yeah.
being bold enough to say, at least making friends through social media,
Yeah.
being bold enough to say, this is a person that, from what I can tell, it seems like we have things in common.
Mm-hmm.
We might hit it off. And asking them on a friend date, which feels weird.
Yeah.
And if you have to be vulnerable and you have to be afraid of rejection,
Yeah.
they might not respond. They might be like, ew, why would I want to be friends with you? You
Yeah.
know? But like, I think it's really important because
Yeah.
some people have like all of the same friends from high school. Maybe you live in the same town and like you're good. But like some of us, we've moved. I went away to college and I kind of lost touch with my high school friends. And then I moved back home and I lost touch with my college friends.
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta actually take that risk and then you've got to invest your time with those people.
Yeah. And good people. That's the thing too. Like I feel like both of us are surrounded by so many amazing humans, and I don't take that for granted because I know how lucky we are, and we've also chosen to surround ourselves with amazing people because I am a big believer you are who you surround yourself with, and if you are surrounded by shitty ass people, negative people, they will bring you down eventually. Maybe not at first, but that negativity, that just ugh, never, yeah, never again. But it's okay to cut those people out because there's so many better, better things ahead.
Yeah.
So,
And people that you're more aligned with.
yeah.
I've heard this analogy of like the negative people kind of being on the ground. Like a positive person is like standing up on a chair, and they're trying to like pull the negative person up onto the chair, which is like incredibly challenging to like lift a person up.
Yeah.
And it's much easier for the negative person to pull the positive person down off of the chair. And so,
that's
just
so hard.
just thinking, because it's like I'm a fixer and I want to fix broken people, and I see somebody who's having a rough time, and I'm like, well, I can help them. I want to be a positive influence in their life, and we all need that sometimes, right? And that's what friendship is. We all go through hard times, but there are people who are always the victim, or they're always negative. It's always somebody else's fault, and there comes a point where you have to be like, this is not a friend going through a hard time. This is a person who's just an energy suck and wants to bring everyone into their misery. Misery loves company. And so it's really hard to kind of differentiate sometimes, because as a kind-hearted person, like, you want to be that positive to everybody.
I think the hard part too is we all have our shit. We all have shit going on in life. A lot of bad, a lot of good, a lot of busyness, a lot of, we have the parent life, we have the, work life, we have all the things in between, friendships, family, all that stuff that you have to balance. And to not, I don't know, to have extra negativity in your life that just kind of sucks your energy. If you have those kind of people, like, sometimes you don't have a choice. But if you have a choice, yeah, just
Well, and sometimes I fear that I'm the energy suck in my friends' lives because
that's not true.
well,
That's the opposite.
thank you. Well, sometimes though, like, we all go through a thing that like might be a struggle to get over, or you might have to keep talking about the same thing over and over. And I can feel at times like, oh my gosh, my friends don't want to keep hearing about this, blah blah blah.
That's not true though.
But I bring like value in other ways, right?
Correct.
And so I think like that's the thing to differentiate is like we all have friends who go through their shit that need us to be there for them. Even if they're talking about the same thing for the 100th time, this is your friend.
And that's what friends do, though. I mean, if you're going through a situation and it's really hard and you're in a hard place, like, we're gonna talk about it. Like, that's not healthy either to just like shut down. And I mean, I'm very much someone that kind of pulls back and secludes when I'm overwhelmed in life and I have a lot going on. Like, if it's hard stuff, but I also realize I need to pull myself out of that and be around that positivity. Because I feel like $1,000,000 then, you know what I mean? Like you can be so low, and if you're on the right people, you're gonna be like, oh, like I feel amazing. So, and you almost have like a reset in life, you know. So it's finding that balance though in friendships, but also just being surrounded by some bomb ass people.
Yeah.
So,
and for me, it's like talking through those things with my friends is like my therapy. Like I haven't gone to a therapist in a little bit. I've definitely been to therapy quite a bit in my life. But I haven't gone recently, And it's because I have emotionally mature, wise friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll even talk through like all of the different scenarios in my head, like all of the different possible narratives. And talking through it with my friends just helps bring it down to earth and helps me. I'm an external processor. And so it helps me just process everything and kind of come to like resolution and peace about like whatever it is.
Yeah. And I think too, having friends that that will tell you the truth. Like, you are very honest when I'm like, hey, my friend Cody is really good about that. Like, if I say like, this is the situation, like, what do you think? And you're like, I mean, it's like, this, you should do this. Sometimes I don't listen, obviously. Cody,
Sometimes you've
I know
already
you
done the
don't.
opposite before I even respond.
I'm like, oh, I'm too fast. I'm sorry about that. But
I'd be like, don't respond. She'd be like, too late.
can't help it. I'm a quick like a ninja. But I think being able to be told those hard things, like, you know, you're kind of in the wrong here, or you know what I mean. So just having those people that will be honest with you too in friendships is really important too, I think. So, what do we have next? Let's talk about.
Let's talk about.
Ooh.
This just came up randomly in conversation, where we were talking. I mentioned something that I do first thing in the morning every day to start my day on the right foot, and Laura was like, "Oh my gosh, I do that too."
Every day for
Do you want to tell them?
years. Sure. So, in our go-getter life, so we always think like, what is the first thing you can do in the morning to just like get your mind right, your day going, even if it's just one thing that you're doing. We make our beds. We wake up. I could be hungover. I could be rushing to get to my classes. It doesn't even matter what I have going on. I am making my bed because it gets my day going. It's that one accomplishment that you have done. There's nothing better than getting into bed at night and like your bed's made and you feel like you have your shit together, even if you don't. I think it's a really good way to start the day and just on a positive foot, you know. And I feel like you're kind of getting ahead of the day. Like, no matter what happens, like, you're good to go, you know?
Yeah. In addition to it being like, I've already accomplished something and I've only been awake for 1.5 minutes. Well, I don't really get out of bed for like 10 or 15 minutes.
I press snooze a lot. I'm one of those.
Yeah, but your alarm is set for like 3 a.m. in your defense.
I set 18 alarms to make sure I get out of bed. I'm afraid of oversleeping for classes, so I'm like 3:05, 3:06, 3:10. Yeah, I'm one of those. That's annoying.
I'm like that, but mine starts at like 7.
Yeah.
So, but in addition to it being like I've already accomplished something first thing in the morning, for me, when my house is messy and chaotic, I feel like my life is out of control.
Correct.
And so even if the whole house is crazy, if my bed is made, I feel like there's some sense of control.
Yeah.
There is some sense of peace. And sometimes I even have stuff on the other side of the bed, like maybe it's laundry or something. And so that stresses me out a little bit. But sometimes it's, right now it's on the floor. But sometimes it's there.
Throw it in the closet. That's what I do. I just hide my laundry baskets in my closet. I'm like, I'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to it there. But even if I do have clothes on that side, the pillows are in place. The bed is like smooth, and it's like, okay, I can look past this because I'm going to get to that. But like the bed is as it should be. And when I go to bed, it's going to be ready for me to move the blankets and get under. Yeah. And I like to be warm. I have a little heated mattress pad. So I turn that on before I go like brush my teeth and wash my face and stuff, so that it's nice and toasty by the time I get in there.
Yeah.
All times of year, because when the AC is on, it's too cold. And then I've got my heated pad.
Oh,
when it's winter,
I need that in my life because I'm cold all the time.
Put it on like a birthday list. Idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Or I'll just buy it for myself and just YOLO, you know.
You need it.
Thank you.
So it could be
I need it.
It could be a welcome summer self gift.
Yes, I like that summer. I don't know if I'll have the air on, but I do need it. So yeah. So let's talk about. Can we do our sub? Can we do our little sub? Okay. So the amazing Jersey Mike's here in Toledo. Love me some Jersey Mike's. Oh no, I hit my mic.
Jersey Mike.
Jersey Mike. So it's funny because we were talking about breadcrumbing a couple weeks ago, and the owner is so funny and makes me giggle. So we got a couple free subs to give away, guys. So free sub, what we want you to do, we're going to pick 2 winners of these free subs. I'm going to mail them to you. So whoever the first two people to comment their favorite Jersey Mike subs win a sub. So comment what your favorite sub is right now. Whoever the first two are to comment. Oh, the turkey there is just, it's so classic. It's so good. But comment, you will win a sub, and I will mail it to you tomorrow. So whoever, we can look through the comments.
Somebody suggested to me
comments.
today, who was it? I don't remember who it was, but one of my friends today suggested that we eat the subs live on the air.
I would smash a sub in about 2 seconds. So if you want to see an impressive sub eating contest, we can have a contest.
Ooh.
Can we?
Sure. What is it like? Who eats it the fastest?
Yeah.
You really want to do that?
Absolutely. Yeah, why not?
I feel like I could.
Do you guys want to see that? That's the question. They're like, ooh, this is really unattractive. Sorry, but
that's okay.
That's
We are
okay.
who we are.
We are who we are, exactly.
I feel like a lot of people I could throw down in that contest, but I do think you might beat me in that one.
I will.
There aren't a lot. So here's the thing that I love about Laura. So a lot of fitness people are like, these foods are bad and these foods are good, and you have to, cut out this food group, or you have to, whatever. And Laura is very much like real life. Like if we try to eat well most of the time, things that are good for us, it's okay to splurge once in a while on those other things.
Yeah.
Arby's mozzarella sticks.
Oh,
Hashtag not an ad.
they're so good. Also, we've been obsessed with Cane's lately, and I know there's a lot of haters out there about Cane's, but cane sauce, man, come on,
So good.
so good.
You guys, I found out that there's 190 calories in each little cane sauce, and I use 3 of them, and so I was at like 570 calories just in the cane sauce. So I made a healthy cane sauce version.
Yeah.
That I found like online with like Greek yogurt instead, and I took it to Cane's. Don't do it, guys. Just eat the calories.
This is the thing. So we talked about getting like naked. That was weird. We're talking about
getting naked together, to be clear.
Whoa, that was a weird. Okay, transition. No, we were talking about getting naked tenders because it makes them a lot healthier, and still using the cane sauce and still getting like the coleslaw and stuff, but like making it just a little bit of a better version. Still high protein. You're getting your protein in, but that sauce. Come on.
Somebody suggested instead of doing Greek yogurt to do fat-free mayo. That might
be, yeah.
And I literally put it in a container, and I just took it right there with me and didn't care.
No.
I just got it right out of, like,
I take ranch sometimes places.
Do you?
Yeah. Is that weird?
Well, are there places that don't have ranch other than
No,
Cane's?
I just like a really good ranch. So
see,
if I know I'm going somewhere that has like a shitty ranch, I'm gonna take my delicious ranch with me.
Oh my gosh. I feel like most restaurants have really good ranch.
Not all of them.
Oh.
I don't want to like throw anyone under the bus, but there's some really good ones like Patty Jack's, Jed's on Bancroft. Shout out to Holly and Jeremy. And yeah, they both have homemade ranch, so it is amazing. So I highly recommend that ranch if you just want to go and drink some ranch. It's really good there.
I just want to address a comment. So
Oh,
Cynthia
no.
commented, sad there's no DJ at the Cane's here. And what that means, we went to Nashville earlier this month, the first weekend of May. Well, it was like 2:30 in the morning, and everywhere was closed except for Cane's. And they had a line out the door, and they had a DJ. And the music was like so loud, and like it was.
If I could eat Cane's while also dancing, come on.
It was a really good time.
Come on.
But I was like,
can we do that soon?
It was like I didn't have to drive anywhere, and we were on vacation in YOLO, and they had $5 Fireball shots. And so like I'm like in line like falling asleep, and there's like super loud like DJ music in the background, and it was great though.
Yeah.
It was great. We do need a DJ here at the Cane's.
We could take a boombox to the Cane's on Monroe Street and just get crazy.
You could just walk in. Is it boomboxes anymore? Do people do a
No.
Bluetooth speaker? But we
could find a boombox.
Do you think that they make Bluetooth speakers that look like a boombox?
Probably.
I feel like
there has to be. There's some. There has to be.
Maybe a pink one.
That'd be cute.
Yeah.
We would get kicked out. We'd be banned from Cane's forever, and then we'd never be able to eat again.
You guys, I love Cane's so much that since I'm out of work, the last time I was there, I Googled how much does a GM at Cane's make? Because I thought maybe I'll just have my own Cane's Cane's restaurant. I just love it so
I would
much.
visit you every day, and I would not look well within a
I would not
couple of
look.
months.
You guys, I used to work at Cane's when I was in college, and I ate there every day. And you know it's only chicken fingers. I don't eat the coleslaw. I do double fries, double sauce, double toast, something else. Um, and I ate it every time I worked. I never got sick of it. But one time I packed like a sandwich and chips and fruit to be healthy. I threw it away, and I ate Cane's.
Absolutely.
There's
I
just
love
no
that
way.
we've talked about Cane's so much. It sounds like we're absolutely sponsored by Cane's.
We're not.
No. So it's delicious. It's fine.
We just were talking about how it's okay to splurge once in a while.
Yes.
Just
We
try
got
to
off.
try
We
to
got
eat
off.
lots of vegetables. Try to eat lots of lean, healthy
Absolutely.
meats. Try to hit a protein goal.
Yes.
Try not to eat too much deep fried stuff.
Yeah. And I think too, when it comes to like fitness and nutrition, you know me, like she just said, I'm big on balance. If you're eating some pizza or a burger, next meal eat a salad, eat some veggies, go, veggie heavy. You don't have to cut out the stuff that you love in life in order to still crush your fitness goals. You can still have a bomb ass body and feel strong and amazing and eat some other effing canes. So
Yeah. Well, and a couple options. So my sister's on Weight Watchers, and if she's going somewhere that she knows there's going to be pizza,
yeah.
she just eats a big salad beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's not going to eat 4 pieces of pizza. She might have 1 or 2 pieces of pizza
Really smart.
because of the salad.
It's those little things that just add up, though, and that's um, we'll just go right into fitness and self care, but it's finding those little tweaks where you can, make those healthy choices, but you don't feel like you're absolutely like starving yourself or like
Depriving.
yeah, depriving yourself because that's not life. And if you're looking at fitness and nutrition as a long term thing, you should be able to enjoy life still. You should be able to do things that you love, eat things that you love. And really, when it comes to fitness, we're gonna just talk about this for a second. So I'm big on weight training. That is not everyone loves weight training or strength training in general. It's so good for the body though. It's so good for longevity. It is very important as we get older, especially. It's good for everybody. But when it comes to fitness, I will tell any single person that I talk to, clients, non-clients, do things that you love, do things that you look forward to doing, do things that whether that's dancing, go to a dance class, go to some Pilates, do some yoga. If you like that high energy stuff, do some crazy, did I say Zumba already? Do some like crazy dance classes or like, you don't have to weight train or you can incorporate some weight training. A lot of people come to my classes and I work with them and they do some hot Pilates on the side or some yoga. It's a good mix up or they do stretching classes. So just doing things that you enjoy, getting outside with your kids, play, run around, jump on a trampoline, like have fun with fitness. It doesn't have to be this horrible thing that you don't look forward to doing. Like make it fun. And I truly try to make it fun, especially when it comes to like my music and just the energy and just have fun, and enjoy what you're doing. And hopefully that can make you look forward to working out and being, healthier and not, having to do this like, oh God, I have this stupid workout I have to do. Like, no, you want to look forward to it. And if you're not looking forward to it, I mean, find something that you enjoy doing. That's my biggest thing. So you're not always gonna love it though. You're not always gonna have that motivation, and you're not gonna always be inspired every single day to do all the things. But just do what you love.
Something that's helpful for me is having an accountability partner.
Mm-hmm.
So we work out together once a week,
Mhm.
and it's like even if I don't work out the rest of the week, which I try to, but even if I know I'm working out on Monday or
Yeah.
working out on Tuesday,
Yep.
and I recently started working out with my friend Chloe. We just
Mhm.
ran into each other at the gym and we're like, we should, like, we had been trying to get together for like coffee or something. We couldn't get our schedules aligned.
Mhm.
And we're like, well, we should just come here. We're here at the same time anyway. And so we've been having a workout date not a couple times a week. The past couple of weeks we've done that. And just yesterday we were like, same time next Wednesday? Like, okay.
Yeah.
And so
I
that
love that.
that really helps me because otherwise
Oh, yeah.
I might like I skipped today
Yeah.
because I just had a whole bunch of stuff going on. I was running errands and stuff, and I've got something going on tomorrow morning. But I'm like, I could get up early and go. Will I? I don't know.
You can come to my class in the morning.
Oh, tomorrow. Oh,
I
at
saw
5:30.
I saw Pam.
Oh,
Pam, my beautiful Pam. She said, "Stay up late, Laura, and perhaps we'll go easy on us at 5:30 tomorrow." Girl, no. But Pam, sweet angel, she's amazing. She's doing so good. She's doing so good.
Yeah.
But no, I will. No, I will not take it easy on you. But you're gonna get a great workout, and you're gonna feel amazing after. So that's what it's about, and we're gonna have fun doing it. So
If I naturally wake up by 5,
yeah,
oh, no, I've got to get the kids to school, so I can't go.
shucks. That's okay.
Shucks. Well, so I'll
Oh,
still be up by
shucks.
6 anyway, but
Yeah.
since I'll already be up getting the kids to school, I really have no excuse to not go to the gym. That's how that goes.
Yeah.
So
You'll do it.
right, I'll do it. I'll do
You'll
it
do it.
tomorrow. So, well, something else that I think is really important in addition to fitness is just doing things to show ourselves love, doing things to take care of ourselves. I was just listening to a book today called "What Color Is Your Parachute?" It's supposed to help you figure out what you want to be when you grow up, right? Like I've been in insurance for 14 years, and I don't care about insurance. I
Yeah.
just kind of landed there, and I thought I would move on, and I never did. And so, but they were talking about like 10 different things that you can do during your job hunt to like de-stress, and everything that they were naming was just self-care stuff, and I do all of it. And it was about like taking your time, getting enough sleep, um, moving your body, eating and drinking the right things, um, doing things that you enjoy, going to a park, like getting some sunshine. It was all that kind of stuff. And I was like, dang, I'm just going to kill it on this little job hunt, aren't I? Even though I haven't looked for any jobs yet.
But that's good that you're continuing to do that, because sometimes when you're looking for a job and you're out of a job, it's really easy to be like, I don't want to do anything, and like just have the self pity and all that. So it's good that you're just continuing, and you're busier than ever with all your stuff. So it's good that you're doing that though, and still putting yourself first.
Yeah.
And that's really easy to just be like, meh,
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything. I'm depressed, but you're doing it.
Well, I have an accountability partner so my company did downsizing and they cut, I don't even know how many people, lots of people. And one of the other people who got cut was like, would you be interested in meeting weekly to kind of just keep each other in check? And we both joked, but also very seriously have said like, we feel like we're just on vacation and we're like a little bit in denial. And it's like, so I told my family and my band, I said, I'm going to start, when people ask if I'm free to do something, I'm going to start saying, well, I'm off work this week, so I can help with that. That way I'm not like, oh yeah, I don't have a job, I'm a loser, I'm super lame.
This
like,
week, I'm free.
I'm off this week.
Absolutely.
So my country band north of Nashville, we're doing an event, Party in the Park, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And I had asked the group today, do one of you want to put an event on Facebook, or do you want me to make the Facebook event? And my friend Tiff said, well, since you're off this week, do you think you could do it? And I said, I am off this week. I can go ahead and make that event. So
I can make that happen.
But yeah, all of that to say, do things to take care of yourself. Drink a glass of wine once in a while if you're able. Buy yourself flowers. Listen to the Miley song and do all of those things. Literally.
I buy myself flowers every single week, and I've done that for the past 2 years.
Dang.
I know. Is that weird?
No, I love it.
It's kind of expensive, but I get cheap. I get like Kroger
Like
flowers.
4 or 5 bucks.
Exactly, but
Yeah.
it just makes me happy looking, walking my kitchen. Ah, fresh
Yeah.
flowers. It just makes me feel good, and yeah, just doing things for yourself. Self care doesn't have to be bubble baths and reading books or whatever, or facials or whatever. Yes, that's self care, but self care can also mean sitting outside in the peace and quiet and just sitting with your thoughts. Or because I think we've kind of talked about this a lot. Like it's hard for people to just be at peace and be okay in the quiet. I think you really find yourself when you're in the quiet and you have no one around and no one, I don't know, it's a very peaceful place. So if you are someone that can't sit in silence, or you don't know what to do and you feel like, I've always been that person like, oh my God, I'm sitting, I should be doing this, I should be doing this, I should be doing, but as you, I think, become at more peace with yourself, you can sit in silence. So I think that's kind of a lot of my self-care is a lot of times I'll sit outside and just breathe and I don't want to say meditate because I don't really meditate, but like just sit and breathe and just look around nature and just, I don't know. That's my self care a lot of times. It feels
Yeah.
really good.
I think that's great, and I think that what a lot of people do in this society is we can't feel what we feel, and
Mm-hmm.
so we distract ourselves. I've definitely been guilty of it. So
We all
you're,
have been.
yeah, you're going through something hard, and instead of just sitting and feeling,
Yeah.
you're like, I've got to pack up my schedule, and I've got to go out and do all of the things. And for me, I love live music, so it's like every night I'm gonna be going and listening to live music or doing karaoke, or like I've got to have dinner with a friend. Like I've just got to have stuff,
Yeah.
or I've just got to be, a lot of times I have music on in the background, I'm listening right now. I'm listening to an audiobook. What?
Look at the comments.
Oh, the
Sorry.
comments. No, that's okay. Um, and I think that people are afraid of what they will discover about themselves if they actually
Correct.
acknowledge their feelings. And I think there's a lot of coping, like I don't think there's anything wrong with, having some drinks, or,
Yeah.
gummies might be controversial, but people might do a gummy, or smoke weed or whatever. I'm like, I don't I don't think there's anything wrong with those things in moderation.
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of people just try to numb their emotions, and they don't want to acknowledge and sit and feel.
Yeah.
And so I think you're totally right. Self-care is like feeling what you feel,
Yeah.
acknowledging it, allowing it to kind of pass, and that's how you kind of heal from it and move on too.
So hard though. It took me many years to be okay in like silence. It took a long time just to like, especially if Olivia's at her dad's house, that was really hard at 1st. Like sitting in my house completely silent. I'm like, what am I gonna do? So, but then you get hobbies, you spend time with family and friends, there's so many things in life that you can do, and you go to the movies by yourself. You do all these things if you're not dating someone, or go with a friend, or just there's so much you can do in life, and in Toledo, there's stuff everywhere to do. So it'll be fun too, and when it comes to Toledo, being able to talk about local events and fun stuff, and especially in the summer, there's so much stuff going on for kids. So if you're a parent, hopefully we can share some of that. I'm a writer with Northwest Ohio Moms. Shout out to Jen, but she always is great at sharing local happenings, especially for kids, and like free events and stuff. So if you ever want ideas for going out with your kids, check out Northwest Ohio Moms, because it's a great resource for mamas, dads, all the parents out there. So just a little throw out there.
Well, and since we're talking about events, something cool that's coming back to Toledo for the first time in years this summer is Party in the Park. And so they did some Promenade Park music series the last couple of years, and they would bring in national acts, and they may or may not have a local act open for them. But what they're doing this year is they're bringing in all local bands, and it's being headlined. The whole event is free. You can't bring a cooler though, but they have drinks available for purchase, and I think they'll have food. Don't quote me on that.
Probably.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
But I
there'll
know
be
for
food
sure
trucks and
there's
stuff.
yeah, I know for sure that they'll have drinks down there. But the event is free, and the events in the past you had to pay to get in.
Yeah.
So they're really
That's
like
amazing.
Yeah, it's every Friday night. I think it's going to be really cool. This tomorrow is a band I've heard of called Zack Attack. They're not from here though,
I've heard
but
of
they're
them
from
too.
somewhere in Ohio. I'm not sure where.
Yeah.
And they're being opened by, is that how you say it? Their opener is the Triplets, and I'm not sure who they are either.
Okay.
So I wonder if it's like Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, something like that. But the next week, since we're not on next week, we're going to do this every other week. The next week is two of my local favorites. The Beef Carvers are headlining, and the openers are the 25s. And so I've got really good friends in both of those bands. They're both kind of throwback bands. You're going to hear like some 80s stuff in there. You're going to hear some classic rock. And then some 90s, and they're just fantastic. So
Can we talk about yours?
we can.
Okay. Well, you go for it. So what is the date of your...
So June 27th
Yes.
is the country night, and so my band North of Nashville will be headlining that night, and opening for us will be the JT Hayden Band. So that'll be fun, but we can talk about that on the next episode.
Okay. I'm excited.
I'm really excited. We got to
excited.
do this concert series 2 years ago. Jeep Fest weekend, we opened for Scotty McCreery, and that was really cool because he's like a national act, and I used
Mm-hmm.
to watch him on American Idol
So did I.
back when it was the thing. You did?
Yeah, my dad and I used to always watch every single week.
My dad and I did too.
Oh my god. Our dads are the best.
They
But
are.
yeah, we watched it every week. He also watched like 90210 with me back in the day.
Oh,
Party at 5. He's like a big old teddy bear. He grew up with 9
dang.
sisters, so he is very in tune with his like feminine side, I feel
Mhm.
like, and just he cries more than any woman I've ever met. Happy tears. So
That's how my dad
he's a
is.
big old teddy bear. He's
My
adorable.
my dad is definitely a man's man in a lot of ways.
Yes. Oh, mine
But
is too.
he did football and wrestling and track,
Yeah.
and he was that kind of like sporty guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then he ended up being the dad of 3 girls.
Yeah.
And so I was we all kind of did, or at least dabbled in sports stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But my older sister and I did taekwondo, and then we did shot put and discus in track, which is what he did in
Sweet.
track. Yeah.
No big deal.
And I believe I still hold the 8th grade, the junior high record at Lake Junior High for the discus. No big deal.
Dang.
Not to brag.
No, no big deal. 6th grade, I was the #1 home run hitter. No big deal.
Whoa!
Softball.
Whoa, number one.
I didn't. It wasn't that impressive.
Oh.
I think I had like 3 or something.
Oh. I also did softball, but I did summer softball because in high school I interfered
Yeah.
with track.
Yeah.
So, but like one year I did the punt. I guess a couple of years I did the punt, pass, and kick competition. So, and I was a golf caddy and I'm a drummer. So it's like I'm a girly girl, but I have all of these like masculine
Yeah.
like things in my background. And I've always been kind of a tomboy, but I've always been kind of a girly girl at the same time.
I was absolutely a tomboy. I'm going to tell a story right now. This is not planned. I used to think, I don't know why I thought this. Let's hear it. So when I was little, I don't know how, I'm guessing my brothers got this in my head because I had 2 older brothers. I thought at a certain age, girls turn into boys and boys turn into girls. So when I was like 5, I was like prepping to be a boy because I had it in my head. So I wore, like, I would take my brother's clothes and wear my brother's clothes. And I played all the sports and everything. And we played football and basketball and all the stuff every night with my dad out in the yard, but I thought I would be a boy someday. Obviously, I'm not. Don't worry. But yeah, I don't know why. I just remember thinking, what age will I turn into a boy? And that was the Mickey Mouse.
You practiced it. Good job.
You're welcome. I've been practicing. Oh boy. So yeah, we're just gonna keep doing that. So yeah, I don't know why I thought that. And anyone else think that? Did anyone else? Am I the only one? No.
I didn't think that.
Well, that's good. Good for you. But yeah, look at me now. I'm good. I'm still a tomboy, but I am a girly girl too. So
Well, it's funny because if someone were to look at you,
Jerry, hi Jerry. It's one of my old customers and Buddy, obviously. Oh my, he's like, oh heck no.
but
Judge me.
I feel like if someone were to look at
God.
you right now, I like your nails by the way.
Thank you.
They would not think that you're a tomboy because like you've got your makeup done and you're in this pretty outfit and your hair and whatever. But like on the daily,
On the date, you know what I
messy
look
bun,
like.
no makeup,
I
leggings,
don't.
t-shirt.
It's
Every day.
98% of the time.
Mhm.
I just don't have the energy to. If I'm training clients all day and I'm doing classes and I'm doing all the stuff and I have my daughter, no one cares what I look like. So yeah, I'm big on hats and t-shirts, tank tops, leggings, tennis shoes.
Well, speaking of your daughter,
Yes.
I think it would be interesting to talk about our kids a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And something that I want to talk about is like our #1 goals for our kids. And what's interesting about this is that we were kind of talking about this earlier this week, and we both have the same #1 goal for our kids.
And I think this is the #1 goal for a lot of people. I actually asked someone either earlier or yesterday, and we talked about kindness, just instilling that into our children. You want kind humans to go out into this world, especially when they're little. If they're not kind, it's not a good sign for the future of them being an adult. So just instilling that kindness, doing the best that you can to show them what that kindness looks like to others, to people that surround you, to strangers in the street, to there's just so many ways to show kindness, and I really think that is number one. Kindness. It is absolutely. It's so important.
I think that for some people, it's like, especially probably people who come from like a certain type of job or a certain type of um, financial status. It might be success, or it might be, I want my number one goal for my child is to, get married and have children, or give me grandchildren, or
Yeah.
To be financially better off than I was, and like those are all things that I think most people also want.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
But it's not the number
if
one goal.
if my kids decide to never marry,
Yeah.
or they decide not to have children, or they decide that they want to be a freelance musician and live off of tips and always struggle financially, but they are a kind human, then I feel like I've succeeded as a mom. Like that's the goal.
We've talked about it too. My other thing is just making sure that there's she has great work ethic already. She's 9 years old, but follow through and things that we say we're going to do. So like she's in karate, she's in baseball right now. Each are 3 days a week, and it's so important the follow through. So if like she's like, oh my gosh, mom, I don't want to go to karate tonight. I'm tired. Let's just relax. I'm like, baby, we signed up for this. We're locked in for a long time. We're going. So just making sure that if we say we're going to do something, we talk about it. We have deep conversations about it. If she says, yes, I absolutely want to do this, and then all of a sudden she doesn't want to do it, I'm like, we're locked in. We got to keep going, and that will, that will just nothing but help her in the future. And as she gets into adulthood, I think that will, and because she's already like that, but
yeah, I think that's awesome. For me, I guess if there were a secondary one, it would be that they would be inclusive. And so I think about myself, and I've always just had a heart. I think it's really my faith in Jesus that kind of shaped me, because like the Bible shows that Jesus was the one that loved the people that society kind of viewed as an outcast, and the people that society thought they were better than, or the religious people thought they were better than, or thought these type of people were unclean. And those were the people that Jesus like went out of his way to befriend and to show love and compassion to. And so I just think like I would want my children to be inclusive, and to not be the ones that are like, oh, you don't get in because you dress a certain way. I've heard through the grapevine people ask about me, why does she hang out with her? Because they think, or him, like because they think that like this person is of a lower status than them. And if we're friends, which we're not, like if we're acquaintances, how could I be friends with somebody like that? But I'm like, to me, I don't care. It's not about how you dress or how much money you have. It's about the kind of person you are and the follow through. Do you keep your commitments? Are you trustworthy? Are you there when I need you? And so to me, it doesn't matter what other people think of you necessarily.
Yeah.
It's like, what kind of person do you show yourself to me to be?
Absolutely.
So
that's so sad that people just judge, always by just the cover of their book. It's very sad. But
Yeah.
That's life, but that's what it is.
It is. And before we go, because we're coming up on the hour.
Are we really?
We are over there.
How?
53:13.
I don't want to stop. Let's go for another hour, guys. Who cares? That's so sad. How did that go? Okay. Can we look at the comments? Is there anything that? Oh, hi, Fran. Sweet
The
angel.
Integrity Award.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm trying to look at the.
That's amazing.
Heck yeah, Fran.
We
that
are
is amazing.
prototypes of the people our children will become.
Yeah.
That's good, Jerry.
I love you. That's true, though. It really is true. Hi, Jerry. Hi, David. Oh, everyone's watching. Hi, guys. This is exciting. I don't want it to be over, though. What the heck?
Well, let's talk a little bit. So we talked a lot about dating on the last episode.
We did.
And then but like the time flew so much, and we're like, oh my gosh, we didn't talk about anything else. But we're single women, and I think it's fun to at least talk about that a little bit each episode if we can.
Yeah.
And so this kind of goes along with something that we were talking about in the last episode, which is being too much. And you had shared this this reel with me, or this TikTok or whatever, and it was basically a guy saying like, if you're dating someone else and they think you're too much, like think of it like water being poured into a can or like a container, and you're the water. He's like, if you're too much for that container, it just means you need a bigger container. It doesn't mean, it just means that you and this person are not it. It doesn't mean that you need to become less of who you are to accommodate what this person wants for you.
Yeah.
It just means this person ain't it.
Yeah.
And you've got to find a person that allows you to be fully you, you know, and that container is big enough, like, to basically allow you to pour yourself into it and it not overflow.
I think for so many years, I mean, I would say a good at least 10 years of my life, in my jobs, in my relationships, friendships, everything, I really had to kind of dim myself and bring down that personality. And like, I don't think I'm like a crazy person, but like, I just kind of read the room, and like it would, like, people would just be like, like, so I, especially in one job that I had, oh my gosh, it was bad. But I really had to just completely change my personality and like just bring it down and not be so, I mean, I had people say I was too positive and too, you know, just bubbly and all those things. And now I'm like, if someone says that to me, it's funny to me. Now it's like, oh, you're not going to tell me how to act. That's cute though. That's cute, but no. And it's like, we're good people, you know. We are who we are, and we're ourselves. And not saying that we can't take criticism or, you know, suggested things, but like if it's our personalities, why try to change someone, you know? And I think that's the biggest thing with us in dating is just trying to find that match of someone that kind of matches that energy, matches, you know, they love your personality, they love what you bring to the table, and they're not just like, So I had someone say to me, God, what did he say? He said, it's going to really take a lot for me to get used to you. And I was instantly like, okay, goodbye. So a lot to get used to me. And I was like, I don't even know what that means. But we're not, we're good.
No.
So I'm like, you have to get used to me? I'm not sure what that means. So
you're like the most delightful person on the planet.
So as are you. so I mean, it's never like, I don't ever take offense to that, but I'm just like, if it takes you getting used to me, like I don't want to go out with you. That's weird. So that's all it is.
This little button.
I don't want to end our podcast. This is stupid.
I want to share something else.
Yeah, we're almost done. We went over 10 minutes last time, so.
Well, I want to share something else because I just had this question. Great, now they can all see I was sitting on a pillow to be as tall as you. So I just had a guy DM me a couple days ago and asked me on a date. And I said, you know, I have like one free night every 2 weeks. So like, let's chat and see if we have anything in common before I'm going to commit to, you know, my next available night of June 19th for a stranger, right?
Yeah.
Which is actually my next available night, which is so sad. And so, you know, I'm trying to get to know him, and I asked him, you know, can you tell me about a political issue that you're passionate about? Because I'm very passionate about a few particular issues. And I'm looking for someone also passionate about those issues. Yeah. I'm not looking for someone who's willing to accept that I'm passionate about those. I'm looking for someone who is passionate about those. Yeah. Who's going to kind of fight the fight with me. And he said... And
not just accepting of it. Yeah, right. That really is right there with you.
Because I think that a lot of people would just be accepting, right, and respectful. And that's, to me, like bare minimum human behavior, but that's not what I'm looking for. And I asked him if he could tell me about an issue he's passionate about, and he said, to be honest, I'm not very political, which is okay, but to me, I'm not political means the things that are happening don't affect me, so it doesn't bother me, so I don't really care. Yeah. And again, that's okay for someone else. That's not okay for me. Yeah. For me, I'm like, even though this thing doesn't affect me, it affects other people. And these things that are happening are hurting other people. And I want to stand up against those things, and I want to make a difference, and I want to be aligned with somebody doing those things. And so he asked what my views were, and I gave a very vague answer. And so then he tried to say, oh, well, we have things in common. But it's like, I asked you, and you couldn't name anything. And that's, again, there's no shame, like there's nothing wrong with that.
Not at all.
You should be with someone who's also not political, or someone that, like, these things are not important to. But for me, it's like, I know what I'm looking for. And if you've been divorced and left a marriage and split up your family and split up your 401k and started over and moved in with your parents in your 30s, like you're not gonna you're not gonna date someone just because they're a nice person.
Yeah.
Which we talked about this a couple weeks ago too. But this just happened like yesterday. He followed up and was like, I'm a really good and like committed partner, and I'm like, I bet you are. Like that's great. But it's just still not what I'm looking for, and that could be me being too much for some people.
Yeah.
Or they might be like, it's not too much. Like I'm okay with you being that way.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm looking for someone who's also too much.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm looking for someone who's a lot because I'm a lot.
Mm-hmm. I've had a lot. I love to dance. Ashley loves to dance too, and just like this, we just have fun. And I think too, like I think in my dating experience, just someone that doesn't judge that, and like I'm not crazy. I just like to boogie down sometimes, and whether that's in my classes or every once in a while going out. But I think finding someone too that kind of has that same energy and like can just vibe, and I don't know. It just you don't have to be the same, and you don't have to have all the same interests, all the same things, but like finding those people that like you can just have fun with. And I think especially dating at our age, it's very challenging trying to find people that are good people, but also you have similar interests with. But just having those few things that you really agree on, and that you can have fun with. My sister, hi Kel, love you too. Trying to look at the comments. Hi Elena, open-ended question. Oh yeah. We're just sorry, we're reading. I can't do two things at once. Sorry about that. Can you read Elena's question?
Yeah.
My eyeballs.
Yeah, so Elena's saying it's a great open-ended question, and she loves the idea of using that question as a way to understand someone's values without priming them to answer. So, like, some people will be like, if you voted for Trump, like, swipe left, like, on their dating profile.
Yeah.
And I'm like, for me, it's not about, like, who did you vote for? It's about what do you value? Because you could have voted the same way that I did, and we might still have significantly different values. We might have significantly different interests. Like, I am a go out and have some drinks and party till 3 a.m. person.
Yeah.
So if someone else is not into that, and they're an introvert and they're a homebody and they're whatever, it works for us somehow. But like in a dating relationship, like I have friends who they like to go out and their partner's a homebody. So it's always a fight to get their partner to even go out like once in a while.
Yeah.
And I'm just not going to do that. I'll just go out by myself and not be dating anybody.
Yeah.
It's fine.
See, I'm such a homebody. So every once in a while I have to just force myself to like,
I'm like,
go out.
You're coming out with
I
us.
know, but I just, something about being my PJs.
But you're out a lot. Like you're, especially when you were working at your job, you were out in public all the time at your prior job.
Yes.
And you're out in public with your classes.
Yeah.
It's not like you're just sitting home all the time.
I know. And I'm always working, so there's that. But
I know. That's true. And you're at your daughter's karate class, and you're at,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people think that like dating apps are like the only way to meet people. And they're like, how else do you meet people? It's like, well, you meet people at the store and at a coffee shop and at the gym. You just have to be willing to strike up a conversation. And that doesn't mean hitting on a stranger and making them feel awkward.
No, not at all.
Or walking up to someone and being like, boy, those muscles really look nice. It's just, they're a human.
Yeah.
And they're out in public, and you can strike up a conversation and meet people. And then maybe it leads to a friendship. Maybe it leads to nothing and you never talk about it again. Maybe it ends up leading to something. But it's like, just getting out there. I've committed to myself. I decided this a couple weeks ago. I got laid off April 23rd, and I decided I'm going to go somewhere every day. I'm going to leave the house. Even if I just leave the house, like today I got a spray tan, and I had to get cat food because I ran out and my Amazon order comes tomorrow. And so I'm like, okay, I went in public though, because I don't want to ever sink into this, oh my gosh, I didn't even leave the house today. Oh my gosh, I didn't even go outside today. And I just want to be a people person that's putting good into the world, that's making connections.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, well, I'm going to go. I also went to Burger King. Sorry. Trying to be healthy.
Okay.
But I didn't get pop.
See?
I'm cutting way back on caffeine. And I have caffeine-free pop at home, but when I go to restaurants, you have to either get caffeine-free or you get calorie-free. You can't get both. I have both at home, but you can't get both. And so I was very proud of myself. I did not get the drink.
Did you have the onion rings?
No, I get the fries.
Oh.
Double cheeseburger fries. Oh.
Not
I
the
didn't like
fries.
their old fries.
Their onion rings are bomb.
Really?
You guys like the onion rings at Burger King? They're delicious.
I'll have to try them. I used to always get the cherry Coke icy.
Oh.
But I found out a Coke icy has caffeine in it because it's made of Coke.
Yeah. I would have
Which
guessed
makes
that.
sense, but I didn't guess that when I was on my totally caffeine-free journey
That's
for a
okay.
while there.
That's okay. Yeah.
So,
What else we got? Any other comments, questions, concerns? Did people comment their favorite Jersey Mike sub in order to get free subs?
I didn't see any, but we've got 2 subs to give away.
Name your favorite Jersey Mike sub. We'll send you a free sub. So
Yes. So I think that's a wrap for today. We didn't get to everything, but what a good problem to have.
that was so fast, guys. We like to talk. So yeah, there's definitely some more that we need to talk about next time. So well, thank you guys for joining in on the fun. I hope you guys have an amazing evening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks on a Thursday, 8 o'clock.
And feel free to also comment topics that you want to hear about on
Heck
future
yes,
episodes.
we would love that. Give us all the ideas. Like we talked about too, we'll be having our kids for an episode. We're not sure if we're going to do live or pre-recorded because those guys are crazy. So we're gonna figure this out though. And but yeah, we'll keep everyone posted. But thank you all for watching and for your support. We truly appreciate you. We are still looking for some sponsors as well. We haven't reached out to anyone yet. So if anyone's interested in doing a sponsorship with us, we will be talking to you as well. So anything else, Ash?
I think that's it.
Okay. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
How do you turn it
Cheers.
off? Over here.
That was funny. I like that.